Hello everyone, welcome back to the 20 Delf channel, and this is the 2002 Toyota Echo. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is doing a complete overview of this car, so driving it, what's under the bonnet, everything else about this car you're going to see in this video, and I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. So I'm sure you can tell already of how motivated I am to review this car. Here is the front end. It is disgusting to look at. It's made even worse with this hideous front bumper. But pretty much all Toyota Echoes look like this. The headlights are yellow. Common issue with this car in particular, they're always yellow. Dare you to find an Echo without yellow headlights. That'll be interesting. You got this weird looking grille design there. I forgot to mention, in other markets this is known as the Yaris and the Vitz. Over here it's called the Echo. It is a stupid name for a stupid car. There we have the badge. We've got the bonnet. It just looks like an ugly car. If you saw this coming down the road at you, you'd go, what the fuck? Please help me. Yeah, that's about it for the front. It just looks like a car. Moving on to the side of my Toyota Echo, I actually don't want to refer to it as mine. Yeah, it just looks like a car. This is a 3-door. Wow, look at that, 3-door. Super rare, very desirable. Along here you can tell Toyota have really put the effort into the design on the side. I mean, everything from the little indicator lights at the side here to the little crease just here with the faded matte paint with all these black dots on it. You can just tell Toyota's design team went a little bit crazy on this one. Yeah, wow. What a side to a vehicle. You've got no side skirt here. For some reason, you've got this little PPF section here, because obviously you'd want to be PPFing your Echo. You really do want to look after this thing to the absolute fullest extent here. At the front here, we've got these 14-inch steely wheels with some very average brakes on the front. On the rear, you've only got drum brakes. Oh, this thing is a pile. Moving on to the rear of the Toyota Echo, it's another very ugly looking panel, and I would argue this is probably the worst looking part of the car. It's just disgusting. I hate it. It just looks disgusting. The tail lights, yeah, they look like that. You've got the little Echo badge there, VVTi. You've got to let everyone know you've got variable valve timing. Little Toyota badge there as well. Here is your little boot release, which is locked. This car doesn't have central locking. That's an important thing to note. Among many other features it's missing. Central locking does not find itself onto the feature list. On the bumper, I dare you also to find an Echo that doesn't have a dent on this little rear section, because Toyota, in their infinite wisdom, decided, oh, let's put the lowest section of the bumper, let's make it out of metal. So whenever you back into something, it's almost certainly going to dent it. And obviously this car right here, this immaculate example, is no exception. But I know all of you want to hear how one of these things sounds, so I'll start it up, give it a couple revs, and I'll let the car do the talking here. So I understand you guys must be frothing after hearing this thing. Yeah, wow, what a beast. What an absolute weapon. But I think you guys are dying to know what's under the bonnet of this thing, so let's go take a little look. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that someone at some point will stop and ask if I've broken down. But under the bonnet here, we've got the 1.3 litre naturally aspirated VVTi engine, 4-cylinder. This thing produces next to no horsepower. I think it's 72 kilowatts or something. Probably less than 120 newton meters of torque. I don't actually know the specs. I don't care enough to look them up. So here's the engine. It is the 1NZFE, I believe. Or yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's an engine. This car's had an engine replacement. Obvious by that. It's an engine. It makes the car move. The car only weighs about 860 kilos, so, I mean, it would be a bit scary to put anything bigger than this in a car that handles worse than most buses. So, anyway, yep, this is the engine. It goes, it works like an engine. Common complaints, oil leaks everywhere, coolant leaks everywhere. Oh, never mind, this is actually a 2NZFE. Sorry, my bad. Also, if you speak into it, it echoes a little bit. The Echo echoes. So there you go. How funny is that? Obviously Toyota's high quality wiring everywhere, very nicely tucked away, very presentable here. So that's always a good sign. But let's go check out the interior on this thing. Being inside of the interior of this beautiful Toyota Echo, we are greeted with this, I think what once was a grey steering wheel. It's now turned green. It's rubber. It's pretty hideous to hold. It's hideous to look at. Stupid car. Other things to note in the interior, you've got these manual window mirrors here. You have a wind down window, something I haven't seen on a car in a very, very, very long time. I think this is actually this would be the second. Interestingly enough, they're both Toyotas. This is the second car I've ever owned out of my 30 cars or something that's had manual wind down windows. Both of them have been Toyota. But everyone loves Toyota. Everyone swears by this brand. I've got these little air vents here that break, and I don't know what the design is. It's got a face here. I don't know if you can see this, but ever since I got pointed it out, I've never been able to unsee it. You got the two eyes there, then you got the little mouth there. Tell me that doesn't look like a face. It's disgusting. It's Look, I'm just sitting in it and listen to that. High quality build Toyota. Ooh, we love Toyota. Woohoo! This particular car is spec'd with the greenish blue on baby poo grey, I've noticed. So that's always nice. You've got your little wiper controls here. They're not automatic, of course. You've got your light controls here. They're not automatic either, of course. Air vent controls here. Obviously, they're all dials for that manual feel, you know. You got your window defogger there, hazard button there, that just moved by itself. You got your recirculation settings there. You got your little security indicator there, because I know I'd be devastated if someone stole my Toyota Echo. I'd be gutted. Underneath there, you've got your stock OEM radio, which works like a radio. It's probably the best part of the car, to be honest. Here's my least favorite part. Look, up here, you don't have anything in front of you. You have to tilt your head to the side like a Tesla. So Tesla, we know where you got your inspiration from. It's all right. You can just admit it now. But you got a digital speed readout there. You got your digital fuel level and your digital tachometer. This car's done 272,000 Ks, and it feels like it's done 500,000, to be honest. The headliner is equally as disgusting as the rest of the car, so very much in character. I like how Toyota, they put one airbag in this car. It's a 2002 car. All right, bear in mind the Golf Mark 4 was out, the Polo 9N was out. They all had airbags everywhere. No, not in this. Not in this. You get one airbag as standard, and you can option the other airbag. And if you don't option it, it's a little storage tray. So thank you, Toyota, for prioritizing safety so highly. We appreciate it very much. The things to note in this car, obviously I've mentioned it doesn't have central locking. So you've got to manually lock the doors and everything like that. So that's always nice and good. The key itself is actually a house key, so be careful. This car identifies as a Mercedes C200 in silver. So it's allowed to do that now, apparently. Seats, they're disgusting. They're uncomfortable. The driver position is overall just atrocious. I can't find myself getting comfortable in this car. Literally, it's impossible. We used to drive these cars for work. Actually, I'll go into that a little bit later, but back seat, obviously this being the 3-door, you got no doors here, so there you go. This is what the back looks like. Ignore the oil. Yeah, I mean, you can tell I'm thrilled to be in this thing. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world right now than in this stupid car. But I think we should stop torturing you with the anxiety of seeing me drive this thing, and let's just get it on the road and get this review over with. You join me in my 2002 Toyota Echo, where we will be starting it up and taking it on a little test drive for you. I don't want to be here right now. I'm doing this for you, the viewers, okay? Not doing it for anyone else. Please be grateful for this stupid video. The sound of quality awakens. Let's get this review over with, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to try to cheer up a little bit for this, because now is the part in the video where I can actually talk about how awful this thing is and why you should never buy one of these. Or could you? I don't know. You need to stay for the rest of the video, all right? This isn't a cue for you to leave. Let's make a little U-turn here. Hyper flashing, even though we just replaced the bulbs. Let's not mention the car's been on fire. Let's try to leave that out of the video. Okay, so driving along in my little Toyota Echo car, you can hear already. They were just rattled. Actually, I'll put the window up as well. There's just noise coming from everywhere. There's no actual place the noise is coming from. It's just literally coming from every single little place in the car. All right. I actually, when I drove this home from my mate's place yesterday, all right, because we're actually filming a separate video on this car, so hang on, there's someone behind me now. I want to let them pass. Oh my, damn, you stayed. Oh, now there's a bug in the car. All right, you go in there. I can't do it with this car. Story, yeah, I'm making another video on this car. I was driving it home from my mate's place in Botany yesterday, and I have never been so terrified driving a car in my entire life. I was originally going to take the non-toll route through the city to get a feel for how this thing is, see how many reactions we can get out of this thing, because people actually stare at this thing. They stare at this more than the R8, which is funny. But I was too scared too, so I just took it on the Eastern Distributor, went right through. I was terrified driving this thing at 80 k's an hour. I'm only doing 50 actually. No, this is our favourite little straight. Let's give it some. Be my honour. There we go, we got up to going 50. Oh, this thing is terrible. We're coming up to our little straight here as well. I'll continue my story in a second, I promise. But, well, let's test out the agility. It genuinely feels like the car's going to roll over every time you try to take a corner at modest... Oh, now the indicator started working again. Alright. Took that long. This car's got nothing in it. It feels awful to drive. Oh, it's so dreary. Like, look, oh my... Try not to spin out challenge, impossible. But look at this. Like, look at how much the car's, like, wobbling, even if you just slightly touch the wheel. Anyway, so yeah, I was terrified driving this car home yesterday, and I think I should definitely have been. Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, I used to drive. I have plenty of experience with these cars. All right, I'm not saying this because I've got no reason to. I used to work at a pizza delivery shop. They always had Toyota Echoes as the delivery cars. Over a year, I broke 3 of them. One of them, the starter motor just died. The other one I started to somehow make misfire, right? And then it was just toast after that. And then I can't actually remember what happened to the third one, but I know I did something to it. These cars are just awful, all right? They're used primarily by delivery drivers here in Australia, and they are everywhere. You cannot go down a street without seeing at least one Toyota Echo here. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand why these cars are still so popular. And everyone goes, oh, Toyotas are so reliable, Toyotas are so reliable. This one is a very average example of a Toyota Echo you could find on the used market at the moment, okay? It's leaking oil. The transmission feels awful. It's just a shocking driving experience. There are no driver safety aids. You don't even get ABS in this car, all right? So if you need to slam on the brakes, you're going into a tree. There's no hiding that. So I don't know, the steering feels dreary. It does somehow have power steering. I'm actually genuinely surprised with that. The whole car just, it just feels awful. It feels awful. And the thing is, that would be all well and good if this was well below the competition in terms of value. But these things have held their value so well just because of the badge. Just because of the badge. Everyone goes, oh, Toyota, this is on its second engine. It's only done 270,000 Ks. It's on its second engine. All right? And this isn't a one-off, like the work Echoes as well. One of them was on its second engine. The other ones were like dead, like actually dead. And they're just very average examples of Toyota Echoes. They're just terrible cars. And I don't know why everyone loves them. Because if you crash, you're almost certainly gonna die. Somehow this is more legal in this country. Driving this car right now is more legal in this country than having a loud exhaust on your car. How the fuck does this make any sense? Like I could very well easily roll this car over, just like that guy in the UK did, actually. cars are just awful. I have a strong hate towards them. And I'm trying to be unbiased here, trying to talk about the good spots. Sure, you do get good fuel economy. It is a Toyota, so parts aren't expensive, but you've still got labour. Unless you know how to do it yourself, which, I mean, these engines look pretty easy to work on, so I wouldn't imagine it would be too difficult. So look, if you're interested in any of that, but at the same time, I've got a 2006 993 Polo TDI, okay? The 1.9 TDI. That thing is better on fuel than this. It's safer than this. It actually feels nicer to drive in many, many ways. It's got a decent sound system. Sure, it's 4 years newer than this car, but the 9N platform was introduced in 1999 or something, or 1998, around when the Mark IV Golf came out. So it's an older platform, yet it feels better and looks better, and it actually drives like a car. This just drives like a little Tykes thing. Like, genuinely feel like I'm gonna get a disease just being in this car. Come on, little insect, get out of my car. Just, okay. So my 1.9 TDI, I've neglected that thing. It's got one owner in the past, and they neglected it too. The car's done 284,000 Ks, it's on its original engine, and it's still going so strong. This car's on its second engine, it's done more than 10,000 kilometers, less than my 1.9 TDI. It's leaking oil everywhere, the transmission's about to go. It's got no safety features to redeem itself. These cars are awful. These cars are awful. They're terrible. I hate this car with a passion. I genuinely do. I'm trying to reason, going, oh, it's practical. It's not practical. It's just, it's one of those cars where you can kind of go to a shopping center. I think this is the only redeeming factor. You can go to a shopping center, open the door, hit it directly into a wall, and literally turn back and look at it and go, oh, okay. Like, I cannot think of any other use for. I don't know. I seriously, like, please, someone explain to me why these cars are so popular. Because they don't seem that reliable to me. Having driven quite a few and broken quite a few of them. And they're just awful to drive, and they're hideous to look at. And they've got no power. Like, my 1.9 TDI feels faster than this, and it's better on fuel. Like, just, if you're, okay, final thoughts on this car. If you're in the market for a small hatchback from the early 2000s because you think it's going to be a cheap little runaround, avoid a Hyundai Getz, avoid a Toyota Echo. What you want is a 1.9 TDI Polo. Those things are so underrated in this country in particular. I know in Europe they love them, and they have a good reason to, because they're brilliant cars and parts aren't that expensive for them either. Labor's easy because it's a 1.9 TDI. That's if anything breaks, which it never does because it's a 1.9 TDI. This is a Toyota Echo. I think I've just said enough in that sentence in itself. Anyway, finally finished this review. Get me out of this thing. Get me out of this thing. Let's just park this thing very nice and neatly and give you my concluding thoughts on this beautiful car. Careful, we don't want to curb it. Okay, so final thoughts on the 2002 Toyota Echo, which unfortunately is my car. In case you didn't guess, I hate it. I'm trying not to be biased here, but I genuinely cannot think of any redeeming factor. I don't know why you would want to drive one of these. I seriously don't. I don't. It's just badge appeal or brand appeal. Oh, it's terrible. This is why Toyotas are overrated. Even the new stuff. The GR Corollas are catching on fire. The Yaris are as well. The quality just isn't there. The quality isn't there. It hasn't ever been there. My Lexus, to be fair, my Lexus is good, but it is leaking oil. It's got transmission issues too. So it's not like Toyotas are immune to problems, okay? They have them, and it's a very real thing. And everyone who says, oh, my Toyota's made it to 400,000 Ks, they're the kind of people who actually service their car properly and look after it. Nobody who buys a Toyota Echo does that. If you buy a Toyota Echo, you won't do that. I know this for a fact. This car isn't worth maintaining. It's just awful. I hate it. So anyway, I'm going to go drive this car off a cliff now, I think. But thank you very much for watching the video. If you want me to review your car, please don't allow it to be as bad as a Toyota Echo. I beg. I mean, that would be very, very... Actually, try it. Test me. If you think you've got a car that's worse than this, please reach out and say, hey, Alex, I'm an idiot. I've bought a shittier car. All right? And I will review it. Because I genuinely don't think you can get a worse car than this. This is hands down the worst car I've ever driven. I've driven a lot of cars, and this is the worst one. This right here, this stupid little Toyota Echo. Please do yourself a favor, never buy one of these things. If you know someone who owns one, block them on everything, never speak to them again. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to film my other video, which heavily involves me destroying this car for all the torture, the mental pain it's caused me over the years. But I will catch you in the next video. So, yeah, thank you for watching.